Lots of memories about the Wesmen Classic, aka the Golden Boy. When I was just a young high school basketball coach at St. John's High School, I came in contact with Vic Pruden, who was the founder of this wonderful event. And I've had an opportunity to, this is 50, I left the University of Winnipeg in 2009, so at least 45 Wesmen Classic Golden Boys I had the opportunity, the honor to coach either St. John's or the University of Winnipeg Wesmen in the tournament. And there are just, I was thinking the last couple of days about where it started, and I remember playing those first few games in Riddell Hall when it was called the Golden Boy. And it was a really interesting beginning because Vic Pruden, who's the founder of it all, as I said, started with some interesting ideas and had a tremendous amount of support from the administration. Because after a couple of years in Riddell Hall, we went to the Winnipeg Arena. Do you believe that? There was high school played in the Winnipeg Arena. As a matter of fact, up to a couple of years ago, and I don't know where it is right now, I had a tape that Jack Lewis, who was the coach of the University of Manitoba Bisons, he was taping the Bisons against the Wesmen in the second game. We were playing in the first game, St. John's against Daniel McIntyre. And he videotaped the game for me. Now in 1970 or 71, whatever that was unique to have a game tape. And we got it, and we played. And during that time period where it was at the Winnipeg Arena, the Vic and his people that worked here brought in guest speakers for a huge banquet. They had John Wooden here one year, the great coach of UCLA. They had Bill Russell in here one year, the great, tremendous player with the Boston Celtics. And there was a big banquet the night before the tournament started. So it went from the Winnipeg Arena, then the Convention Center opened up, and the name switched to the Wesmen Classic. The university, I was told at that time, didn't like the term Golden Boy because it didn't reflect on the university, so they switched the name. I was, when I heard that they had switched the name, I was like, oh, that's not a good idea, but in reality, when I came here, it was a great idea. And then it went to the Convention Center, and we played in every tournament that was held at the Convention Center right up until 1984 when I came here to the University of Winnipeg. I remember winning the Wesmen Classic in 1979. 1978 at St. John's, we were the provincial champions. We came out of nowhere and won. The next year, we were 32-1 and lost in the provincial semifinals to Dakota. During that time, we had won the WIT, we won the Wesmen Classic, we won the Luther Invitational. We had won everything. We had hardware galore, except we didn't win the provincials. Maybe there was the year before, we didn't win the Wesmen Classic, we won the provincials. Next year, we won the Wesmen Classic, we didn't win the provincials. What can you do? And then in 1984, 85, came here and coached the University of Winnipeg Wesmen, and that is when the Duckworth was opened. The year before, they were just finishing it up, and at St. John's, we had the first opportunity to play a basketball game here in the Duckworth Center. The University of Winnipeg had Brock, coached by Bruce Enns. The University of Winnipeg had Brock in here, and it was an exhibition game. And he asked me if we would play an exhibition high school game before that against Vincent Massey, and we did. And it was very interesting because the Duckworth, which is now obviously the home of the Wesmen Classic, there were no seats. There was just the actual concrete stairs all the way along, and yet we played a basketball game in front of maybe 5 or 6 people. I'm not even sure. There was no place for them to sit except on the concrete risers that they were going to later on build the seats into. And hard to believe that a year later, I'm here as the coach and working with the Wesmen Classic up until the year 2000. We won a number of them. I can't remember the dates. Probably not enough because we're always the team that has the draw. We make the draw. People always used to say, how come you always get a team in the first that maybe you can beat every time? And I would say, we draw them out of a hat, except it's our hat. And if you can't get a good draw in your own tournament, you're never going to get a good draw. And we had some great games here. I can remember a game against Lakehead we played in the final. They whacked us. They hit their first 6 shots. They did not mix a shot, and 5 of them were 3-pointers. We were down 17-0 before we realized what, and this was the final. The people were just shaking their heads. This team comes out, it hits 5 threes, and then they hit a 2. They're up 17-0. We haven't even scored. I don't think we even had the ball. We probably turned it over or whatever. So there's some wild ones that have happened here. And there are a lot of great memories. And then as athletic director since the year 2000 to 2009, wonderful to be able to organize the tournament. I can recall back to the 40th anniversary where we had 40 special guests each person representing a year that they participated in the Wesmen Classic, Golden Boy, whatever. And we went right back to the beginning. Vic Pruden was #1 up until the year, whatever that was, 2005, 2004, whenever it was the 40th anniversary, and having them all stand out on the floor just before the game and introduce each one of them. And it was just a real memorable event. It shows how this tournament, with its 50th anniversary coming now, is such a large part of the basketball community and is just got tremendous memories for those that have participated in it. Good luck and happy birthday to the Wesmen Classic.